Hey everyone, we're back on the air with more hurricane coverage. You know, part of the reason I came on is that there was supposed to be new aircraft recon data, and I knew the plane was flying out there, and I kind of knew when it was going to get there. Oh, it says aircraft. All right, I have to fix that. But some people in the chat are saying that the plane turned around. Did the plane turn around? I didn't even check when I came on. I just knew the plane was out there, and I was like, okay, it'll get there about this time. So did the plane turn around? What happened? Because, I mean, a number of weather experts are saying that they're saying the T number of the hurricane, which is this estimate of how intense it is crazy. And people are waiting for this new aircraft data. So what happened with the aircraft? Oh, it turned toward the storm? All right, well, let me see what's going on with the aircraft recon. So, let's see. Where is it? Here, all right, well, here I'm going to get the position of it right now. Look, okay, here's what it's done. I think it's heading towards the storm. Look, there. That looks like it's heading towards the storm. I think it might have turned around and then turned around again. See that? So I think going northwest is towards the storm. So we may still be in business. Let me show you where that is. I don't know that it's on flight radar, but I can find it on a map. But I'm telling you, there are a number of weather experts saying they are seeing this reading for this storm, this thing called a T reading, which they say is nuts, how intense. There's a way you can measure the intensity of the storm without direct observation. There's a technique you use, and you get this thing called a T number. And a number of weather experts are saying the T number is like crazy for this thing. And so we're waiting to see when the actual aircraft data comes out. Does the aircraft data match the T number? So I wanted to be on the air for the new aircraft data. All right, give me 1 sec here. All right, so I'm going to show you where the plane is. I didn't check even. I should check Flight Radar 24 first and see if it's on there. But the plane appears to be heading in the direction of the storm right now, from what I can gather. Hold on here. Yeah, I don't think the plane is on Flight Radar 24, but let me show you where it is, because I just used the coordinates from Tropical Tidbits. All right, so look, here's a map. Oh, hold on. First of all, let me get rid of the. When I get a chance, actually, I should get the radar up. Let me do that. I'll get the radar up too. There's too much to do. First of all, this has to get moved. Okay. I'll get the radar up in a second. But I'm trying to show you where. So this is where the plane is, right here where the red marker is. That means it's got to go. The center of the storm is going to be south of Jamaica, like right around where my pointer is. So it's got to go, I think, northwest to get to the storm from where it is. And according to Tropical Tidbits, it is flying northwest. So I think we're okay. Yeah, it's flying in the direction it needs to be flying in right now to get to the center of the storm. Okay, so let's talk about this T number thing. I do have a live shot from, is that even working? I have a live shot from Kingston, which I'll put on the air for you. And let me show you the satellite. But again, a number of weather experts think that this thing has strengthened a bunch. So we're going to talk about that in a second. And they think it might be a Cat 5. So there is that is the satellite from tropicaltidbits.com. What I actually want to do is a couple things here. Let me get set up here. Okay, now what I need to do is put this like this, and then I'm going to add a little window with it in the corner so you can see it. Maybe like this. Okay, there's that. I know it's on twice. There's a reason I'm doing this. Trust me. That is too. Put it up a little bit. Let me shrink it a little bit. Okay, that's a little better. So now what I can do is show you the live shot. Are we going to have the live shot? Ooh, I'm getting a spinning circle. That is Kingston, Jamaica. That is a live shot, which just got a spinning circle. We'll see if the spinning circle sucks. I think it's going to stop in a second. Yes, so we have the live shot from Kingston, Jamaica. See a little wind blowing there. You have the Tropical Tidbits radar, the satellite, okay? Camera's going to move around in a second. But I want to talk to you about this T number and this T intensity number and what some experts are saying on it. And so Gemini AI says a T number is a rating from 1 to 8 used to estimate a tropical cyclone's intensity based on its cloud patterns observed in satellite imagery. This is it's especially helpful. It uses cloud patterns and features observed by satellites to infer the wind speed and the pressure of the hurricane, especially when aircraft recon is not available. That's according to Gemini AI. So this is a number when you don't have a plane there to actually measure the wind speed and the pressure. This is a way you use other data to try to estimate the wind speed and pressure. And the T numbers, I keep seeing weather experts tonight talk about T numbers. For example, Ryan Maui, who I follow, who's a weather expert, he said an hour ago, look what he said is meteorological perfection from Hurricane Melissa hitting the top of the satellite intensity algorithm scale at 8.0. While the pressure and winds haven't matched up, weird, this satellite presentation is typically 170 knots. Now, he posted that about an hour ago. That's Ryan Maui, at Ryan M-A-U-E. 170 knots, by the way, would be 195 miles an hour wind. He also posted 51 minutes ago that Melissa was at T 8.3. He also said about an hour ago, Ryan Maui, that this is one of the most intense tropical cyclones observed by satellite algorithms since the 1970s. So he talked about the T number, and then Michael Lowry, I think, who is another weather expert I follow, he said 58 minutes ago, Michael Lowry said, Melissa is now at T 8.3. Hard to know what's truly under the hood without aircraft reconnaissance, but satellite says surely this is a Category 5. He says we're witnessing satellite history in the Atlantic tonight. So this, again, the T number is an estimate of how intense the storm is based on things like cloud patterns. And I think maybe it's done through through satellite data. I mean, if it's cloud patterns, let's see here. Yes, T number, well, at least from what Google AI says, it says the T number uses satellite data, involves a Dvorak technique to use satellite data to estimate a hurricane's intensity. It's the primary tool, satellite data. So at least the satellite data is suggesting this is a extraordinarily powerful hurricane. Now we're waiting for the actual aircraft reconnaissance data, if that makes sense. So, let's keep following the aircraft on flight radar, on tropical tidbits. It is not at the center of the storm yet. It is flying towards the storm. There it is, Air Force 301 mission. So the question is, when this plane starts taking its measurements, are we going to get Cat 5 winds, and are we going to get pressure, much lower pressure, which would be suggestive of which would be the kind of pressure you would expect with a Cat 5 hurricane? Yes, the last update was Category 4, 145 miles per hour, and the pressure in the last update, was it 933 or something? I'm looking it up. It was 933. So the satellite estimates, satellite-based estimates of how strong the storm now are, I believe, suggesting it's one of the strongest storms ever in the Atlantic. Michael Lowry also said, he said, I want to go back to this shot right here. Michael Lowry, who's again a hurricane specialist, he said, he asked on X, he said, for all the Dvorak historians in the audience, the Dvorak is this technique for estimating the intensity with the satellite data. He says, have we ever had a T 8.0 in the Atlantic? Gilbert, 1988? Ryan Maui said Gilbert was around T 8.0. This might be the highest T number, maybe, for a hurricane ever in the Atlantic. So is that going to be borne out? What are the actual measurements going to be when the plane gets there? So we are on the air to see this. Okay. Let me say a couple thank yous to our moderators who are here. Keisha Fowler, good to see you, Keisha. Thanks for moderating. Robert's May Queen is here. Hi, Robert. Thanks for moderating over there on YouTube. Over on Twitch, 13 Alamo, Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, and Papa Bear are there. This storm is supposed to turn during Monday and turn northeast and head towards Jamaica. But for right now, we're trying to figure out how strong a storm it is. During Monday, turn north. Kay Lowry Body is moderating. Paul Anderson is moderating. Margaret Riley is moderating over there on Facebook. Thank you. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha moderate for us on X. I'm going to also check what some other weather experts are saying about this. And we're going to check in on the plane. Matt Lanza, who is a weather expert I follow, he calls the satellite presentation insane of this storm. Oh. Hold on a second here. I got the page. I got the page. So there it is. Hold on. I found the page. This is from the University of Wisconsin. Advanced Dvorak technique. The current T number is, I guess it's 7.8. Okay, so what does this mean? Current intensity analysis. It might be time for AI to confirm. Does it mean that the estimated pressure according to this technique is 895 and the estimated velocity is 164 knots? Am I reading this right? This estimate? I think it was estimated higher earlier. So hold on a second. What I'm going to do is here's a good use for AI. Interpret this for me. What is it saying? Current, max sustained wind and pressure are. See what happens if I put it into Gemini AI. I'm seeing the thing in the red. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. The AI is thinking. Seems that was not helpful. I got to use the. I got to make an adjustment here. Try this again. Anyways, so if I have not used this page before, it kind of looks to me, this is the Wisconsin Advanced Dvorak Technique page, current intensity analysis. So this uses satellite data to estimate the intensity of a hurricane when you don't have direct observation, aircraft recon. I told AI, use this page to estimate it. And then it gave me the NHC estimate. And I said, no, use the page I just told you about. So in red, it says CI number, current analysis. In red, it says intensity number 7.8, pressure 895, velocity max 164 knots. Oh, I gotta just do this. Let me do it this way. A 164 knots is 188 miles an hour. 188 miles an hour. So, if I'm reading this right, I'm not sure I am. If I'm reading this right, the current estimate by this technique of the pressure is 895 and max sustained velocity is about 190 miles an hour. I don't know if that's going to be what the data shows. AI, when I asked AI, it said that's the current estimated pressure and max sustained wind right here. Naruto Loser says that cannot be right. Well, maybe it's not right. We'll see if it's close. We'll see if it's close. I believe a little earlier in the evening, it was even higher. It was higher than 7.8. I think it was in the 8s. We're waiting for this aircraft to get... Okay, the aircraft is going towards the storm. We do not see yet the eye. So it's going to keep going towards the storm, and eventually it'll get to... I mean, oh, it is in the storm. It's in the storm. Just to be clear, it's in the storm, but it is not at the center of the storm. So soon, eventually, it'll go through the center, and it'll take measurements, and we'll see what is the pressure reading. And good news on this plane, the SFMR technology is working, which allows it to estimate the surface wind speed. It's a special technology they have on the plane. The last one didn't have that, or it wasn't working. That's on the right here. So anyways, I'll take the when we actually get more data from near the center, I'll take the satellite off and we'll look at it. So we will be getting recon data of pressure and surface wind speed estimate sometime soon. Andrew says the International Space Station will be flying right over it shortly. I don't know off the top of my head where the International Space Station stream is and whether I'm allowed to use it. I found a link and it says it's not available. Anyways. Oh, I might be able to. How about here? Well, if you see it come into view and it's like a NASA thing, just let me know in the chat or something. But I have to have, whatever feed I use, I have to have the rights to use it. I don't know why on Tropical Tidbits it's just doing that thing with the, they're having a bit of an issue with the satellite where it spins around in circles. But once in a while you get the spinning, but it is what it is. I just refreshed to see if that would help. Well, it seems to have helped a little bit. What is going to happen with this plane? Should we do a quick poll? We'll do a quick poll. Will the plane show a Cat 5? That's the question. Flash poll. Okay, I asked you guys, will the plane show a Cat 5? Over on YouTube, the current vote on YouTube is 84% say yes. Over on Twitch, the current vote on Twitch is... Hold on, I need a second to get it up on the screen. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. Over on Twitch, the current vote is 88%, or 76% say yes. So 77% on Twitch say yes. It will show it will be a Cat 5. And 84% on YouTube say it will be a Cat 5 when we get this plane data shortly. Thank you for voting in our poll. What was this thing? That seems kind of odd. That quick, is that what, did that really just happen? This dip with the pressure to 928 or something? I don't know if that's, where is it here? Well, it doesn't say it on the last 10 minutes of data. I don't know if that's accurate. Because if you look at the last 10 minutes of observations, it doesn't say it on there. Oh, no, it does. Is that it? That looks like it's some kind of, that looks off. I think that's off. Because it says 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 929, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. That doesn't seem right to me. Because normally when it gets closer to the middle, it'll kind of more gradually go down. So I don't know that 929 is an accurate representation of the pressure. I think it's not in the middle yet. We don't see the eye yet. When it gets there, we should see the eye in this shot right here. Yeah, so I'm guessing that that's not what we're looking for. It just seems too fast. Yeah, we don't see the eye yet on this shot. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. There is Kingston. If you're just joining us, so if you're just joining us, there is a technique that weather experts use to estimate the intensity of a hurricane when they don't have aircraft recon data. That technique is called the Dvorak technique. And the numbers in the last couple hours that of the intensity number, the T number, computed by the Dvorak technique have been just nuts for this storm. They've been historic, some weather experts have said. Right now, if I'm reading this correctly, the T number is 7.8, and the estimated pressure by this technique is 895, and the estimated max sustained winds is 164 knots, which is about 190 miles an hour. Now, I don't know, that would be a huge bump up in wind speed and a huge drop in pressure. So but a number of weather experts have been looking at this data in the satellite presentation and saying, this thing looks like it's really strengthened. So what is the actual aircraft data going to show when we get it? That is what we're here to see. Thanks so much, by the way, to William C., who says people on the southwest side of the island need to run for the hills. You know, the thing is, some parts of the island are going to get the worst wind, but the worst wind might be different from what gets the worst rainfall, So the majority of the island, in the last forecast, the majority of the island was predicted to get 20 inches or more of rain. You can see it right here. Look at that. It's about 2/3 of the island. Everything in pink is 20 plus inches. The dark purple is 30 plus inches. That island's about 150 miles long. And then the place that's supposed to get the least amount of rain is the western tip of the island. But maybe the hurricane is going to end up hitting around there. I don't know. Thank you, William C. Thanks, I Am Charlie. Thanks, Rock K9. Jason Bentley. Jason Bewley, thank you. Ken Lance, thank you, says this could potentially be a horrendous. That's true. Hope that's not the case. Thanks, Kiwi. Kiwi, the press conference today from Jamaica said that they had offered some buses to evacuate people. Most people did not evacuate. They were considering issuing mandatory evacuations. I don't know that that has been done. I have not heard that there have been any, but I don't know for sure. Thank you, Josh Shakalaka. I mean, when 2/3 of the island is supposed to get 20 inches or more of rain, I don't know. You know, maybe they'd focus on the areas that are going to get the worst storm surge, maybe. But I'm guessing there's possible negatives about having too many people trying to evacuate during a storm. And I don't even know what the infrastructure is like there. So, it sounds like one focus they had was maybe trying to figure out when it gets closer and they have a better idea of where the worst storm surge might be, maybe they'll focus on those areas. Thanks, Josh Shakalaka. Josh thinks that Hurricane Patricia's forecast model was way off. Hurricane Patricia was in 2015. It was the second most intense hurricane worldwide, with 872 pressure. Thank you, Jackie Johnston, for your support. Thanks again, Josh Shakalak. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jean-Paul Lachance, for the memberships. Jean-Paul Lachance. Where is the plane right now? Let's see. Still not in the middle of the storm yet, guys. It's in the storm, but it's not at the middle. We need to wait till it gets to the middle of the storm. Ryan said they're supposed to have another news conference in Jamaica around 10:30 a.m. this morning. I think I remember them saying that. I don't know that I'll be on right that second, but we can watch it later today. Oh, yeah, thanks to our viewer, Melissa said, Trina Duke messaged me and said, you can look at the ISS live stream on something called Afar TV. I don't own the Afar TV rights. But you can look up Afar TV if you want to see it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right this second because I want to make sure I got to keep the focus. Okay, hey, what just happened here? So the plane just did a turn. So wait a second. Is this maybe the eye? I just don't even know. Is that possibly the eye right there? Right here? Maybe I was looking for a bigger eye or a more dark eye. My point is it now going towards the eye? Because it looks like it's going towards there. I don't know why it's going towards there. Let me put in the position. I can easily put in the position on Google Maps of the plane. The plane position is now right here. Yeah, so what I can tell you is just by looking at the satellite, the eye is under the west part of Jamaica, right? So that plane is under the east part of Jamaica. So if that plane is looking to go to the eye, it should be going west, not east. Now I'm a little confused because it kind of looks like the plane is going west. I'm sorry. Yeah, it kind of looks like the plane is going east right now. But I think the eye is to the west, given that something's got to be wrong. Given the position that's listed for the plane. Oh, is it the plane on flight radar now, Trick Ninja? Is it there now? I didn't see it before. Oh, there it is. Hey, it's there. Okay, thanks, Trick Ninja. Hey, it's there now. Okay, look, it's heading. All right, so look. According to Flight Radar 24, it is heading for the eye. Thank you. I didn't see before. It's possible that the data on tropical tidbits is wrong for a second. Look at Flight Radar 24, guys. There it is. It looks like it's heading right for the eye, where it should be heading. At 252 miles an hour. You can kind of see it slowly moving there. Wow, guys. It is soon going to be there. What is it going to tell us? I don't think I can the satellite I've been refreshing. It's not going to help that much. It'll help for a second, but I refreshed the satellite earlier and it helped, and then it got bad again. Well, maybe it'll help temporarily. That's good for now. So maybe it'll work this time. Earlier refreshing it didn't hurt. Now it's not spinning like that. So okay, there you go. Look at that on the satellite. So you are looking at the plane that's going to tell us the actual measurements for the pressure and the estimated surface wind speed. It is getting closer. The satellite Dvorak technique estimates tonight for this storm have been enormous in the last couple hours. Let's refresh this. Look at this. It says current intensity score 8.0. This is from the Wisconsin Advanced Dvorak Technique satellite-based intensity measurement estimate. The current one is 8.0. The current estimated pressure is 889. And the current estimated velocity, max sustained wind, is 170. Now, this might be incorrect, of course. But that's, 170 knots would be 195 miles an hour. So this is a technique that is used to estimate the intensity of a hurricane when you don't have direct observation. So it's possible that this technique is overestimating this, but these numbers are crazy. This is why I told you there's several weather experts I'm following tonight who are looking at these numbers and they're like, this is unbelievable. But we just don't know if something like that is actually true. If it's not true, I'm guessing maybe they'll use that data to try to make some adjustments to this technique in the future. But I have seen a number of weather experts say they're looking at the data and they're looking at the satellite, and they just say the satellite looks like it is just incredibly strong. So that is the current advanced Dvorak technique from Wisconsin number. Now let's go back to Flight Radar 24. I don't know what to expect. I would not be surprised if, well, that seems like I think the most surprised I would be is if that estimate is close to correct, because that's just enormous. I don't know though. I mean, there's some very smart people suggesting that this thing could have really ramped up. Well, according to Flight Radar 24, the plane is quite close to the eye. I don't think this is correct here. I think I think the next data, it seemed to suggest it had turned, but I don't think it has turned. I mean, the Flight Radar 24 is suggesting it has not turned. Well, soon we will know. Soon we will have observed data, and we will see what is the pressure and what's the estimated surface wind. Soon we will have it. Let me get rid of this. It's almost there. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Hey, thanks to Hairball for your support. Yeah, Hairball, we were talking about that yesterday, that what is it, a naval base, the U.S. naval base, Guantanamo Bay, they did an evacuation of non-essential personnel. We looked up their Facebook page yesterday. Yeah, you can find stories online talking about how they were evacuating non-mission essential U.S. citizens. Where TV said around 1,000 people from Naval Station Guantanamo Bay were flown to NAS Pensacola. Thank you so much, Hairball. Thanks, Jason Bewley. Thanks, JAD from Australia. I appreciate that. Thank you, Random Life Things, our member. Thank you, Nikos Kostianis, our member. Thanks to Jingo Is Me for subscribing on Twitch. Thanks, Cece, for your support on Twitch. Shay Shay says, huge players for the people of Jamaica. This is a U.S. Air Force plane. Okay, well, flight radar data shows this thing basically at the eye right now. So it should be taking the measurements around now to tell us how strong the storm actually is. Yes, look at this. It is confirmed. Look at that right there. See, look at. There it is. There it is on Tropical Tidbits. There's the plane about to enter the eye. So Tropical Tidbits data matches the Flight Radar 24 data. We are very close to getting, I think in about 10-15 minutes we might have the data that we're looking for. It's gonna take the pressure readings. It's gonna take do an estimate of the surface wind speed, and once it gets a little past there, we will see the data on tropicaltidbits.com. You can go there. You can get the live satellite. You can get the updates from the aircraft. Tropicaltidbits.com. Check it out. It's great. Thank them for letting us show their site. Thanks, K. Michelle M., for your support. Thanks, Crypto King, for your support. Thanks for shouting out our moderators. In minutes, we're going to find out the new data. Thank you, Keisha Fowler. Thank you, Roberts Mayqueen, for moderating. Thank you. "13 Alamo, David Green, Idaho Star. I got that fire. Matthew Kohai 3 and Papa Bear on Twitch. Thanks so much. K. Lowry Body. Margaret Riley on Facebook. Paul Anderson, thank you. Thanks, Susan Priest Buchner, for subscribing. Linda Bell, Larry, and Misha on X, thanks for modding over there. The current Dvorak technique estimate of Again, this has been super high the last couple hours. This technique, which uses satellite data to estimate the intensity of the hurricane, it's currently a T number of 8.0 with an estimated pressure of around 889 and an estimated max sustained wind of 995. If it's close to that, that's enormous. So something's got to give. Either this is right or roughly accurate, and this storm has just taken off and exploded in intensity, or this is overestimating it. We'll find out with the plane data shortly. The plane is turning. It's doing a little turn. I think it does this. I think it'll turn a little bit and then continue the same direction. Maybe we'll see. It's the Weatherbird plane. Thank you, Joe Paulu. Thank you, Joe. Justin Penn says that estimate sounds like a fishtail. Oh, you know what's interesting? I don't know that the next official National Hurricane Center update about the data about the hurricane is in 8 minutes, but they're not going to, I don't know that they're going to have this current data from, so they might do like a, if the data shows some big change, then maybe they'll do a 2:20 a.m. update or something, an additional one. But I don't know that they're going to have the data in time to get it into the 2 a.m. update. The 2 a.m. update is not out yet. It's turned. Yeah, I think it turns and then goes back in the same direction. Let me just double check here. Yeah, in a few minutes we will get the new numbers here on Tropical Tidbits. It'll tell us what the measurements were, but it is currently measuring. There it is. That's what it does. Salty Daddy thinks it will be a Cat 5. We did a poll a few minutes ago, and most of you think it's a Cat 5. Thanks 495582001 Steppenwolf for your support. Thanks Hashtown for your support. The plane flies in the storm, Hashtown. This was asked earlier, a good question. Does the plane fly in the storm or above the storm? The Hurricane Hunter aircraft are made to fly in the storm. As crazy as that sounds, they're very robust aircraft. We posted an article about this on the previous stream. I'm assuming that this is one of these planes. Yeah, I mean, National Weather Service says the NOAA Hurricane Hunter planes are designed to fly, they fly directly into the eye of the storm. I'm going to assume that this is one of them. I can't guarantee it because I don't have a list of them, but I assume this is one of them. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll post a link to this article again. You can see Flying Through the Eye of the Storm, NOAA Hurricane Hunters. Okay, you know, this plane probably has the data right now, but it'll take a few minutes for it to get to us. Bunny says, those brave people. ShadowNet said it would be good to see the footage from inside the aircraft. Once in a while, you see videos posted from inside. Strong One says, hunters have amazing redundant systems. Anatolian Alt says, I would have guessed they'd fly over. I mean, yeah, it's crazy to think about, but that's what they do. They fly into the storm. Twitcher says, no thanks, I won't be doing that job. Jerry DeKaiser says, what a monster of a storm. All right. Any chance that the data is in yet? Let's look at tropical tidbits and let's refresh. No, it is not there yet. Sometime soon, we will get the data. That hurricane, that plane is taking data now from right near the eye, and we will find out what that new data is. In the meantime, there is no 2 a.m. update yet. It's 1:55. I wonder if they might hold the update for the... I wonder if they might hold the 2 a.m. update a few minutes to get this data from this plane. For someone who mentioned closed captions on YouTube, I have them turned on. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I have it turned on. There's nothing I can do. They're automated. Let's see here. Refresh. All right. Do we have data? I think we have data. Okay, hold on. Look. Let's look at the data. I'm seeing data. I need to get rid of something. Remove satellite. Remove that. Okay, I am seeing the pressure at about 920 something or other. Well, it looks like in the low 920s. And I am seeing a reading of surface peak wind speed at about 150 knots, right? That's the estimated, blue is the estimated surface peak wind speed, and it looks to be about 150 knots, which would be 172 miles an hour. If you look here, 923.2. The lowest pressure reading was a 923.2. Yeah, so, I mean, for a Cat 5, you need 157 mile an hour winds. So if that surface estimate, if that wind speed estimate is correct from the plane, then it's a Cat 5. And the pressure, it looks like it's in the low 920s. You can see 923.2, 924.2, 924.4. And just to repeat, this is the SFMR estimate of surface wind. They have a technology on the plane that lets them estimate the surface wind, and it does look like it was about 150 knots, just eyeballing it. Is the new update out yet? Breaking news. Okay, here's what the new update says. The new update from National Hurricane Center says the pressure is 926 and the max sustained wind is still 150. 150. So that I don't know if they hadn't seen this, or maybe they just had some reason for discounting, for thinking this, for adjusting this estimate. So this just came out, the official update. But I don't know, again, I don't know this information. We just got this information. I don't know if this information made it in to the 2 a.m. update. It's possible that they came out with this update and they're going to do an intermediate update based on this new data. So that's what I don't understand, because basically that new update came out pretty much simultaneously with this new data. So let me try to figure that out. Officially, the pressure is down to 926 and the max sustained wind is 150. You would need 157 for a Cat 5. I mean, but the data from the recon plane, they got some pressures lower than 926. So I'm going to also see what some weather experts are saying about this new data. Let me do that as well. Some people who are really experts in this. There is the current update right there. You can see pressure 926, max sustained wind 150. Hang on a moment here. And a lot of the experts I follow might be sleeping. Okay, now I'll say this. Hunter folks said 140 knots were found in the east-southeast section of Melissa's eye wall. This is extrapolated, reduced to the surface with 145-mile-an-hour wind. Impressive for the section, not expected to be the strongest due to the westerly motion. So, yeah, so I don't, this is where, again, I don't pretend to be a weather expert. Let's see. There's a new forecast public advisory. Max sustained winds 150. Minimum central pressure 926. A turn to the north and northeast is expected today and on Tuesday. The core of Melissa is expected to move over or near Jamaica tonight and Tuesday. Tropical storm conditions are occurring in Jamaica now, and hurricane conditions are expected to begin tonight. Wind speeds atop and on the windward sides of hills and mountains could be up to 30% stronger than the near-surface winds indicated in this advisory. Wow. And in some elevated locations could be even greater. Hang on. Rainfall looks like the same general prediction, 15 to 30 inches in portions of Jamaica, and additional rainfall of 8 to 16 for southern Hispaniola, with some local maxima of 40 inches possible. Catastrophic flash flooding and numerous landslides are likely. Storm surge, still the same forecast. Heights of storm surge in the south coast of Jamaica could reach 9 to 13 feet above ground level. Gemini AI says wind speed is significantly increased when air is forced up and over obstacles like hills and mountains. This is known as orographic enhancement. As the wind hits the mountain slope and accelerates upward, the speed is highest right at the top. Wind sides of mountains facing the incoming wind. The windward sides, the wind is compressed and accelerated as it is forced to rise over the slope. So the mountains, it is a mountainous country, Jamaica, will increase the speed for some people. Oh, the update clock I'm not gonna worry about right now. It's about 3 hours to the next update, but thanks for letting me know. Melissa continues to hurricane. Back sustained winds now 150 miles an hour. Cat 4. Edward Wright thinks we need to wait for the plane to get over on the east side and north side of the storm for an update advisory. They don't do a new forecast discussion, or I don't think they do a new forecast track for the 3-hour updates. I still am wondering if this new update did not have the new plane data incorporated into it. I just don't know, but let me also put the satellite up on the screen so you can see the satellite for a second. Look at that. I would love to find somebody who has expertise who could answer the question of whether the new update incorporated the new plane data. And I just can't find it at the moment. Yeah, it's 5 miles an hour. That's the speed. It's still 5 miles an hour. Melanie Karn thinks the new data was not incorporated because it's not what all the hype is saying and it's closer to other models. Yeah, again, they would have had to, for them to use to incorporate the plane data in the new update, they would have had to, like, in 10 seconds, type it out and then send it off. I don't know that they did that. Tainley, our viewer, thinks the National Hurricane Center will do another update once they sample the southwest quadrant. The new update did not have the plane data, or else it would have had the 923 millibar pressure. Again, a number of the pressure readings were below 926. Which we saw. There was a 923.2, a 924.2, a 924.4, a 925.5. I don't know if that was incorporated. And as I mentioned, for whatever it's worth, there was a surface wind estimate from SFMR equipment, which estimates the surface wind of roughly 150 knots. But they might have had a reason to think that that wasn't accurate. But so the plane right now, some of our viewers think that what the National Hurricane Center is going to do is they're going to wait for it, basically for the plane to do another pass and look at the data and then maybe do an intermediate update. They could do that. They could say, hey, we have new plane data. We think it's a Cat 5. They will do an in-between 3-hour update if there's important information. They do that sometimes. Lincoln thinks it's a very defined eye wall. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's Cat 5 soon. Thank you, Lincoln. Thanks you also, Jason Bewley. The forecast right now is for to not miss the Jamaica. I don't know if we have any new model runs running right now. I think we might be a lot in between a bunch of the model runs. Oh, here's the new HWRF. Now, HWRF has had it pretty far west. Earlier today, HWRF had it missing to the west. Let's see what it has on this current run. There it is, getting close, getting close. Yeah, so this is the HWRF model. Earlier today, it had it missing to the west. Let's see if I can find that run. No, that wasn't it. Was it 18 hours ago? I thought it had it missing to the west earlier today. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it did. I swear. Oh, I know what I have to do. This is OOZ. Let's go to an previous run. I'm sorry. Previous run. That's what I need to do. No, maybe 2 runs ago. Which run am I on? I'm trying to find the run where it had it missing. Well, maybe I won't be able to find it. Was it this one? Every time I try to go to the previous, don't worry about it. Let's forget about the previous run. My point is now, this new model, which is running right now, has the hurricane making landfall on the west side of the island right there, but not missing it. There it is. See? There you go. And I believe about a day ago, or at least about 18 hours ago or so, if I remember seeing it, Reed Timmer talked about it, it had it missing to the west. This is the new HAFSA model run. Let's see what it says. HAFSA model. It says, we'll play it forward, and there you go. Has it hitting more the middle of the island. That's the new model run. You can see right there. Middle of the island. Which would be worse for Kingston in the sense of being closer to the center of the storm. That run is running right now. That's outputting right now, but that's that one. Is the HAFSB running right now? Let's see. This is the new HAFSB model, and it also has it hitting kind of the middle of the island, maybe a bit to the west. So I just showed you 3 models outputting right now that all don't have it missing. We got some more data from the plane. Now the plane has gone by the eye. And here is that tropicaltidbits.com plane data. So what you see is it got a number of readings in the low 920s for pressure. One was 922. Was it 922 or 923? I think it was 922 something. That is right here. That's that red here. Extrapolated pressure. And up here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Crazy. It looks like it got an estimated wind speed from the SFMR technology, which estimates the wind speed at the surface of 160 knots. That looks like it's a 160 knot estimate. Now, I don't know if, for all I know, the National Hurricane Center says, they look at that and they say, well, we don't think that's the max sustained wind for whatever reason. That's what it says, though. That's the estimate. It's 160 knots. Which would be about 185 miles an hour. Now, Colin says this is for 10-second wind speed. That's a fair point, Colin. It's 1 minute, right, Colin? As Colin said, Colin Marshall said, I think the max sustained wind definition is, for US, is 1 minute. So I will wait and see what they say about this. But there was a surface peak 10-second wind speed estimated at 160 knots, which is about, again, 185 miles an hour. NOAA thinks they will put an update out for 3 a.m. with the new wind speeds in a graphic more than likely, or they will do it sooner. Yeah, again, I have a hard time believing that this data wasn't even out. This data wasn't, this here. The pressure data and this reading of a 150 was out. It came out almost exactly when the 2 a.m. update came out. So my guess is that they were not incorporating this data in the 2 a.m. update because it was literally coming in right at that time. So I would not at all be surprised, as some of you are saying, if sometime in the next coming minutes whether it's now or in a half an hour or whatever, if they put out an update and they say it's a Cat 5. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. As I mentioned, a number of weather experts have been looking at the satellite and saying they think it's a Cat 5. The Dvorak intensity, it's now 8.1. It's now 8.1. The Dvorak intensity analysis, which is a technique that uses satellite readings, satellite analysis to estimate the wind speed and pressure. The current Dvorak numbers, they might be wrong, but it's number 8.1, pressure 885, wind velocity max sustained 173 knots. And as I mentioned earlier, a number of weather experts I follow have been looking at these numbers and saying they're basically historic numbers. It would be it is definitely one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes ever, according to the satellite estimate. But that doesn't mean the satellite estimate could be off. Maybe these are not accurate. But the satellite estimates of intensity for this storm are historically big. Now, we haven't seen. The plane just flew through and took pressure readings, and it got low 920s. So we haven't seen something like this, so we'll have to see. Oh, where is the, hold on. Oh, there's an evacuation order I just saw. Hold on a second here. There's an evacuation order for parts of Jamaica. I just saw it right here. I'm gonna. Somebody asked about this before. Hang on a moment. So let me just do this. Our Walt thinks if the pressure is really 923 or so, it's a Category 5 hurricane. Thanks to Elizabeth Baum. She mentioned some study that claimed that climate change was making oceans so warm it has intensified wind speeds of Atlantic hurricanes by an average of 18 miles an hour. Now, I haven't read that study. That's what Elizabeth Baum says. Thank you, Elizabeth Baum, for your support, by the way. I really appreciate it. So I just saw this evacuation order post that came out several hours ago about, I want to mention it to you, Jamaica. Hold on. Oh, I found it here. I'll show it to you. Where is, excuse me. Here, right here. I'm going to show you this article right now from Jamaica Information Service. If it loads. I'm reading from the article. It says that there's a mandatory evacuation in certain areas of of Jamaica. It requires all persons to evacuate the following areas and takes effect immediately. The areas include Port Royal. Oh, here it is right here. There it is. I found it. Watch. Those are the areas under mandatory evacuation. Port Royal, Kingston, Portland College, Clarendon, Rocky Point, Clarendon, Old Harbor Bay, Street, St. Catherine, Taylor Land, Bull Bay, St. Andrew, New Haven, St. Andrew, Riverton City, St. Andrew. This is in a mandatory evacuation order. Now, I don't know how the enforcement will go. If people don't leave, I don't know that they have the resources to make them leave. We'll see if people all leave. Hopefully they leave. Hang on one moment. It's an evacuation order for specified vulnerable communities. One of our viewers pointed out, Pat White, that Josh Morgerman, who's a storm chaser, you can follow him at iCyclone. He is there. He said he thinks that he said there was nonstop talk on the radio stations today about preparations. He says Jamaicans understand a very serious hurricane is coming. That's what he said. Again, he's iCyclone on X, at iCyclone. You can follow him over there. Another person you can follow who is there is Jeff Pietrowski. You can follow him as well. He is at Jeff_Pietrowski. He is posting and doing live streams on his channel, sometimes Twister Chasers on YouTube. Rachel Nell says, Jeff is a good chaser. Random Life Thing says, not every Jamaican, some are stubborn. Well, we heard I think it was the press conference today, one of the ministers said that a bunch of people were not fully realizing how bad this is going to be. So the plane, eventually, that plane is going to turn and make another pass through that eye area. I don't know how long that's going to take. That's going to take a little while. We can. Is it still on Flight Radar 24? Hey, there is the plane. Look, there it is. There it is on Flight Radar 24. So I think what it's going to do is it'll go down here, basically, and then go across. That's probably what it'll do. I don't even know if the signal might be going in and out from the plane, but that's where the last signal was. Tingley thinks it's like 45 minutes to an hour between passes. Well, there is this question about whether, in the next, hour or two, they might do an update and say we are now at Cat 5. I would not be surprised, but we'll see what the plane data, they'll have to look at the plane data, but I would not be surprised if they think it's a Cat 5 if they do an intermediate update. Noah Bergen, who is, he is a meteorologist at Fox 35 Orlando. He just said that this is one of the strongest satellite presentations of an Atlantic basin hurricane ever. And he said the wind velocity and the pressure will catch up to the extremeness of the satellite look at some point Monday. He thinks we'll see the peak intensity of the storm Monday evening. Mike's weather page at Tropical Update says the current satellite shows the eye with abundant lightning, a sign of strengthening. Oh, live flight not found. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sorry. All right. I don't, maybe we'll give it a few minutes here and see. So you can see actually right there on Tropical Tidbits, the plane, this is what we saw the plane doing. I mean, the plane is not that. Maybe I'll stay on for one more pass, I guess. It's so late. But I might stay on for one more pass through with the plane to just see what happens. I don't know that it's going to be that much different, the data, than what we just saw. But, I mean, it's almost at the point where it's just going to turn. I think it's just going to turn soon and head to the eye again. Thanks to Amanda Mosher, our member. Thanks, Elizabeth Baum, as well. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to Dalton Fury for subscribing on Twitch. The next pass is coming up. Again, the plane should basically just turn and go right through, I think, now. Although it might do a thing where it goes a little more south and then goes up. But I'm expecting the plane to turn soon. If it hasn't, it might have turned already. We just can't find it on flight radar. World Weather Tracker says not much happening in Kingston. World Weather Tracker said they're there. I mean, we have the Kingston live shot. But things are going to get much worse when it makes the turn. It's ramping up, but it's going to make that turn today. Remember the forecast track. Here it is. Here is your forecast track. There it is. we should start seeing some northern movement soon. We might even be seeing some northern movement right now. Sort of looks like right at the end with that satellite, maybe it started to move a little north. It should be a little northwest rather than just west. But as it gets closer, what's going to happen? The heavy rain's going to move in and get closer. The wind is going to increase. You're going to eventually have a big storm surge. John thinks it's going to hit west of that projected landfall. The current projection is for the landfall to be in the morning on Tuesday. That's 8 a.m. Tuesday. That's 7 a.m. local time. Abby said Levi Cowan thinks it's a Cat 5. I reposted Levi earlier. Levi Cowan 3 hours ago said it may be a Cat 5 now. Thanks so much, Abby. I appreciate that. Yeah, I reposted him on my X account. He said that 3 hours ago, Levi Cowan, who runs Tropical Tidbits, said that the hurricane was taking yet another step up in strength tonight with a cold ring of pink, meaning minus 80 degrees Celsius cloud tops now encircling the eye. He said it may be a Cat 5 now. That was several hours ago. He said this is a nightmare to see south of Jamaica. Hopefully Melissa gets tripped up by something, but a major hurricane strike on the island is unavoidable, said Levi Cowan of Tropical Tidbits, Dr. Levi Cowan. And remember, it's not just the path. Guys, look at the rainfall. The last rainfall map had about 2/3 of Jamaica getting 20 plus inches of rainfall. The majority of the island. Some areas up to 40 inches. Hang on a moment. I didn't even check the Jamaica radar. I forgot to check it. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Is it working? The Jamaica radar has been having some issues, the page. I'll leave it there for a second. Sometimes it takes a second, then it comes on. Where is the aircraft recon? Again, waiting for an update from the aircraft. I think it's going to make... There's a lot of... As some of our viewers have said, look at all the pink. In the corner there, that pink is the coldest cloud tops. The coldest... That's giving you the different colors are the temperatures of the cloud tops. And the colder the cloud tops are, the stronger the storm is. And roughly speaking, I'm not an expert on this, but that pink is the coldest on the scale. And there's been a lot of pink there the last several hours. Yeah, this page is just not really... The Jamaica radar page is not really working right now. There is that scary satellite presentation, but it's going to make a north turn. northeastern. There's a look at Kingston. I'm waiting to get more aircraft data. I'm just going to wait a little bit for more aircraft data. Oh, Black Irish also sent me the thing about the evacuation order. Thanks to our viewer, Black Irish, for sending that to me. Hang on one second here. Benny also sent me that too. And Breaking 4 News. I had missed that before, that they had announced a evacuation of several areas. Oh, so there was just a new update on the plane. It's still going south. You know, guys, I think I'm going to cover this tomorrow. I think the right call might be to wrap up this stream at this point, because I got to get some sleep, because the later I stay up, the later I'll have to sleep. And by the time this thing makes another pass, it could be the case that in a half an hour they say it's a Cat 5, or they might never say it's a Cat 5. I just don't know. But I just came on because there was all of this, because there hadn't been aircraft data in a while, and the satellite there were a number of weather experts saying that this thing looks like a Cat 5 on satellite. It's unbelievable how bad it looks on satellite, how strong it looks, and this Dvorak technique estimate the numbers have been crazy tonight for this thing. You can see these numbers it's been one of the strongest hurricanes ever in the Atlantic, according to this technique of measuring intensity by using satellite. It's using satellite data, but these estimates have been above the actual readings so far. You can see currently by this technique, the estimate is 885 pressure and 173 max sustained wind knots. So there's this question of, is this just overestimating, or might the pressure and wind catch up to what the satellite estimate is? So I don't know. But there have been a number of weather experts saying, like, this is basically these estimates have been historic, but it just hasn't quite been borne out in the actual recon data yet. So we'll have to see how things go. That's about 200 miles an hour. John Fletcher thinks Dvorak is often way overblown. But at the same time, regardless of whether it's often, I don't know if it is, but this has been getting like historically strong, high Dvorak estimates. Maybe it'll just turn out that this thing really overestimated this technique overestimated the actual numbers. As I told you, Noah Bergen, who's a meteorologist in Orlando, he posted a few minutes ago saying that he thinks the wind velocity and pressure will catch up to the extremeness of the satellite look. Savannah says, hopefully it's just overestimating. But I came on the air because there hadn't been aircraft recon in a while. A number of weather specialists were looking at this and saying, basically, can you believe these numbers? This is crazy. And they were also looking at the actual satellite presentation. Now, they know way more than me. You had people who really know what they're talking about, looking at the satellites, looking at it and saying, this thing looks crazy strong on the satellite. It looks incredible. So we'll just have to see what the numbers are. And it's possible that when the NHC takes this current plane data, they will look at it and they will change their estimates of the pressure and speed. So I'm interested to see what they make of the new plane data. Plane's going to be making a couple more passes. You can keep up with the plane at tropicaltidbits.com. You can also look at the satellite there. Tropicaltidbits.com, fantastic site. But if you go to reconnaissance, aircraft recon, you can watch as the readings come in. Yeah, I should at this point. So I don't know if it's a Cat 5 right now. I mean, officially it's not, but it's possible that they're just going to wait for another pass or two from the plane and then say that data may suggest to them it's a Cat 5. So we'll have to see. But I need to start trying to get some sleep because I'm sure we'll be covering this later today. And later today, it's going to be getting closer. And again, just to read you what hurricane specialist Michael Lowry said earlier. He said, this was earlier when the T-score, that Dvorak score, was actually even higher than this. Yes, so yeah, he said earlier that there was a T-score of 8.3. Anyway, but he said it's hard to know what's truly under the hood without aircraft recon, which we're getting now. But he said the satellite estimate suggested it's a 5, and he said we are witnessing satellite history in the Atlantic tonight because of these incredibly high estimates of intensity. But will that be borne out in the actual numbers? I don't know. Okay, so I think Lumi GG seems to think that at 3 a.m., would they do that? Would they wait for the on the hour update? Is that what they would do? It's possible they'll do an update on the hour. I can't assume they will though. Okay. It's time. It's time. All right. So I really appreciate you guys coming to this stream. We will have more coverage later today of this. And it's possible that overnight it'll be a Cat 5, even in 15 or 20 minutes. It is what it is. I'm going to get some rest because we'll be covering this later today. So I appreciate you being here. And by the way, by the time I finish the broadcast, it might be close to 3. So maybe I'll stay on an extra 5 minutes and see if nothing happens at 3. But I'm going to start doing my wrap up right now, and you can stay with it. And maybe if I wrap up close to 3, I'll wait till 3 to see if they come out with something at 3. Because right now it's 2:44. But thank you to everybody for tuning in. Subscribe, follow the channel, Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. I will post updates on my X account when I'm not sleeping, which is @Lookner on X. You can follow me over there for breaking news. Follow Agenda Free TV. That's a good way to tell when we're on the air. I always post on our X account when we're going live @Agenda Free TV. And We do have the best way to find out when we're going live is to sign up for our Discord notifications. That's the best way. They're free. You'll get sent a notification whenever we go live. It's really reliable. The mods will post a link to the notifications in the chat. You can find the link to sign up for the free notifications in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure, if you don't want to miss a stream, sign up for the free notifications. And huge thanks to our moderators who have been here. You guys are awesome. Here at 2:45 a.m. Robert's May Queen has been here. Yeah, I think probably I'll wait it out till 3 a.m. because I'll be finishing up the stream. So, was I pronouncing Dvorak wrong? Somebody said. Maybe I was. I have no idea. Sorry if I was. Is it Dvorak? I don't know. Dvorak, says Daniel. Daniel Lou says it's Dvorak. Huge thanks to our moderators. You guys are awesome. Robert's May Queen is there right now. Thank you, Robert's May Queen, for being up late with us. Over on Twitch, Idaho Star, I Got That Fire, Matthew Kohai 3, Papa Bear, huge thanks. K. Larry Body, Margaret Riley, Paul Anderson, thank you so much. Linda Belk Larry and Misha on X. Hey, it's 2:46. If they're going to do a 3 a.m. update, I don't know that they will. But if they're going to, it's 14 minutes. In the meantime, while I start wrapping this up, I'll probably just stay on till 3. Let's see. Oh, thanks to our Discord mods too. You know, we have a Discord chat. You can chat with other viewers when we're not live. A lot of our viewers like doing that. It's free. It's the same link as the notifications link. Check out our free chat, our Discord chat. Pierre Dubois says Cat 5 overnight was expected. It's forecast to become a Cat 5, but it really seemed to ramp up in the last few hours on the satellite. Oh, the plane. Hey, the plane is going towards. Look, the plane is going towards the eye again. Oh my gosh, guys. Look, it is. It's about to make another pass. The plane's going to make another pass. Thoughts with everybody in Jamaica, by the way. Stay safe there. Do what the authorities are telling you to do. Thanks so much to our Facebook subscribers who subscribe over there and support the channel, like Robert Real II, Michael Clayton. Hey, thanks Susan Priest Buchner for the Facebook stars. Thanks, Susan. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing too. Jennifer Ellers, thanks for being a subscriber. Kay and Margaret, thanks for subscribing. Over on Twitch, shout out to our subscribers there, like Dat Deuce. Hey, Dat Deuce, thanks for subscribing. Jack Overson. Thanks Eloso for subscribing, and Hefty Tartar. And Matthew Kohai 3. Drunk Can't Cook, thanks for watching. Anatolian Alt, thanks for subscribing. Jingo is me. K Clow, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. We6L. Also, our YouTube members like Quentin from Astoria, Crypto King, Random Life Things, Jen's Crunchy Vax, Andrew, JD63. Also, thank you, Snacks. Thanks so much, Snacks, for your support. Barry and Sharon Heberling. Hello, Sharon Heberling. Hope you are well. Sharon Heberling. Thanks for being members. Ane, Wave Logic, Pierre Dubois, Patricia Grace, Chris N., Ho Kazin, Dr. McRib, Amanda Mosher, M. Lolly Lollipop, and all of our other YouTube members. It is 2:50 a.m. I'm going to stick it out until 3 to see if they, by any chance, do an on-the-hour update about the wind speed and the pressure. Even though I should get rest, it's only 10 minutes. So we're in bonus coverage territory, bonus coverage. I was done, but at this point, I might as well wait until 3. It's like 9 minutes. It may take a little while for this pass to happen. We might need, for all I know, it'll be like a half hour until we get the update of it going through the eye. For the moment, that plane is not on Flight Radar 24. Yeah, so Mike Adcock, who is a Air Force meteorologist, he just posted a few minutes ago, and he said, well, we saw this. He said that the first pass through got a central pressure of 923, right? Oh, now what? Now here it says 925. I don't know how they do this. That's on tropical tidbits. I don't know. I mean, there were some readings of lower than 925. This says 925, so I don't know if that's what that represents. But I mean, the official pressure is 926. So looks like it's maybe lower than that. I don't know if this is some sort of, when the number gets written here on this chart, is that some sort of, they take the raw data and then they say that's the pressure? I feel like the number that gets written here often comes up in the actual number, the official number. But I don't know. You can actually get the raw data file on, you could go look at the raw data file on from the recon aircraft on tropical tidbits. Ting Lee says the extrapolated pressure is 925, calculated after the readings to account for altitude adjustments. That's what Ting Lee says. Anyways, that would make it 925 and not 926. Quentin from Astoria says this is bad. So in about 6 minutes, it's going to be 3 a.m. And just checking to see if maybe they do an update on the hour. I don't know that they would. Ryan Spence thinks they will do a 3:20 a.m. update. I won't be on for that. I'm giving it till 3. It's supposed to make landfall Tuesday morning. Oh, the plane is on flight radar now? Any old time says, oh, there it is. Hey, look at that. There's the plane. So the plane is on flight radar. It is about to get neck near the eye. We're about to get more data from the plane. Well, at this point, I got to see the data, I think. It's right there. Uh-oh. I feel like they might have lost it again. I think we might have lost it again. I know you can see it there, but I think it might have gotten lost again. I don't know. This black line is estimated. It basically went down here, actually, and went up. So, Angie Hardy says it's so close to it. Tingley thinks you will get the update at 3:06 from the plane. Well, the last one was... Oh, look, there it is. Okay, so, yeah. The next update, I think we should get the data. There's the plane right there. That's the newest data on Tropical Tidbits. So it's just about to go through there. I don't know if it'll make it all the way through the next update, but I think it might. I think the next update we'll see what the pressure numbers are as it goes through. Yeah, I think they might have lost this. I think it's going to say live flight are not available. No, you can see it's moving. It's moving. It's available. They're tracking it. It's moving there. 232 miles an hour ground speed. Indicated airspeed. True airspeed 249. It's flying by the eye to see what the pressure and wind speed is and take measurements of the hurricane. It's actually flying into the eye, flying through the center of the storm. Well, it's going to be 3 a.m. in 3 minutes. Any chance the National Hurricane Center posts an update? .926 is the official pressure. There it is, guys. There's the plane getting closer to the eye. I can see it moving. I can see it moving. M says it is so close to it. Hack says that is one crazy job. It is 2:59 a.m. We're going to see also if the National Hurricane Center, if there's any chance they'll post a rare 1 hour update. I don't know. Ash thinks they should have a live cam from the plane. It is 3 a.m. I don't see an update yet from National Hurricane Center. But as bonus coverage, I think we're going to wait and see the numbers from this pass. Yeah, we don't have the new info. We don't have we'll get it soon. Hold on a second. Where is the flight radar? There's flight radar 24. It's basically at the eye, guys. The Hurricane Hunter aircraft. It's basically there. Well, it doesn't look like there was a 3 a.m. update from the National Hurricane Center. So what the plane will do, it's turning now. It'll turn to the left, I think, and then keep going. Dunk says it'll drop some probes in the eye. Yeah, the next official update is 5 a.m. I thought maybe they would... There was a small chance they might do one on the hour if it was a Cat 5, but... It is at about 10,000 feet high. Barometric altitude, 10,000 feet. GPS altitude, 8,000 feet. Barometric altitude. I don't know which one is more accurate in this case. Sometimes if there's important information, they will do an in-between the 3-hour update. Look at that. Look at the plane, guys. It's right where the eye wall is, basically. Look at that. Incredible. Yeah, it looks like it's flying. The other one did it too. I guess maybe it, for whatever reason, it doesn't want to. There's more benefit informationally to going around the edge there. Very neat. That's just the way they do it when they make the passes. It did it with the first pass too. Lori S. thinks it's her dream job to do that. Chris N. says, incredible technology. Amanda says, what an amazing, incredible view they must have. Ting Lee says, looking for the lowest pressure reading. Yeah, so I want to see what this data is on this pass. Maybe it'll be similar to the previous pass. I don't know. But I figured we'll just wait. I know I said I was getting off the air, but I did all my preparation to get off the air, but then I was just like, let's just wait and see. Now, if we go here, did they get any? No. So I think the next update, the next time this updates, we should have the data. I think. We'll see. Matt, where did you see that? Matt claims a couple of our viewers said it got a 919. Where are you seeing that? Are you following it somewhere else? Are you looking at the raw data file? Does the raw data file have it or not? I don't even know. I don't even know. Those of you who are saying it's 919, where are you getting that? Again, a couple of our viewers claim that it got a 919 reading. Oh, Erie Pizzeria says it's in the raw data of the website. I looked at I don't know how to read the raw data. It says raw data file. Which raw data file? This one? How do I find 99? Where does it say 919? I don't even know where it says it. Oh, how to read the raw data file. Here it is. There's a PDF. Hold on. There's a PDF on how to read the raw data file. Maybe I should look at that and that'll tell me how to read the raw data file. Okay. Communications header line. This is confusing. Where's pressure? XXXX is surface pressure. Okay. It's like the fifth thing or something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm looking at the wrong thing. I think I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, is it showing on Tropical Tidbits now? Hold on. Hang on a moment. Let's see this. Refresh. I'm refreshing. Oh, extrapolated sea level pressure 919.8. There you go, guys. Look. Extrapolated sea level pressure 919.8. So like 920. And for whatever it's worth, they got another reading. So earlier they got a estimated 10-second surface wind reading of 150, about 160 knots. Looks like they just got one of 145 knots in estimated surface wind speed reading. But I don't know how that's for 10 seconds. 1 minute is a quote unquote sustained wind. So I don't know how they use that number to calculate the wind speed. This all should update soon though. Anyways, the official pressure is 926. So if it's 920, that means it's still strengthening and it's stronger than the official pressure because the official pressure is 926. Yes, as all cat no mouse says, when the pressure drops, that means the storm is strengthening. Okay, so the plane is now through the eye and flying away. So I'm basically the last thing I'm waiting for is the next data update from the Tropical Tidbit site. I think the plane will end up doing 3 passes, but it just did its second pass. So at any moment, we'll refresh here and we'll get the new data. It's the last thing I want to see. Yeah, extrapolated sea level pressure 919.8. Sorry. The usual pressure of a Cat 5 for whatever it's worth, Gemini AI says that the usual pressure of a Cat 5 is less than 920. Matt McKinn thinks the northeast quadrant is usually the strongest. Highest numbers will likely be the next update. I'm still waiting. We're still waiting for the new batch of data to come in here. Sekev, I didn't say that AI is always right. What I said is, so there's no absolute correlation between pressure is not the way you figure out when you do the Saffir-Simpson scale. The category is based on wind speed, but there's a general correlation where, usually if it's a certain category, it has a certain pressure. The Weather Channel had a graphic from a few years ago which suggested that Cat 5s were either less than 919 or less than equal to 919 or less than equal to 925. I mean, that's the basic range we're talking about usually, apparently. I'm still waiting for this to update here. That's the last thing I want is the update of this data. Jojo I am thinks 919 suggests a Cat 5. Guys, I'll keep refreshing. Tealfish thinks 919.8 is very low and is a sign that it's still strengthening. In fact, not many hurricanes reach this low of a pressure. Yeah, it's well on Flight Radar 24, it's well past the eye. So we're just waiting for the update data on tropical tidbits. As our viewer Brenda Marie said, the lowest pressure for an Atlantic hurricane was it Wilma? Is that what it was? Yes, lowest pressure. Well, yes, in the North Atlantic. In the North Atlantic, the lowest pressure ever was 882. For 2005. I just want to get this last update. We're waiting for the next batch of data to come in. I just want to get this last update here. Waiting. Oh, there it is. Okay, we have more data here. More data. So look, here's the data, right? You can actually see here. Let me get rid of this. Here's the data of the second pass through the storm. Now you can see the two passes, pass 1 and pass 2. Pass 1 and pass 2. You can see that we got a lower pressure reading on pass 2 than we got on pass 1. The actual data for the pass was, hold on a second, I'll tell you. Right there. There's a 921.3 on there. That's raw data. There is a 921.3. But I think maybe previously, there was on the previous batch, there might have been one before that. I forget. So, but look at the SFMR is the estimated surface wind speed. And both passes got an SFMR surface peak 10-second wind speed of about 160 knots. Well, is it 155 or one? It looks like around 160 knots. Now, I don't know how because max sustained winds is for 1 minute. So I don't know how the National Hurricane Center takes that data that they got these two readings of 10-second, 160 knot surface wind speed, which would be about 185 miles an hour. I don't know how they go from that to their official wind calculation of max sustained velocity. That is what I don't know. But I believe there's some procedure by which they take that raw data and they use it to extrapolate the max sustained 1 minute wind. By any chance, is there any weather expert posting about that number? Let's see. Okay, Hunter Fowkes, who is a weather expert on this list I follow. He is a meteorologist and storm chaser. He believes this is now a Category 5. He says there was a 152 knot flight level wind, which translates to 157 surface wind. He thinks it's a Cat 5 right now. He just posted that, just for whatever it's worth. I'll see what some of you say. Yeah, I was going to, I'm going to get off the air right now, basically. But I wanted to get that latest, batch of data. Jojo I Am thinks all the numbers add up to Cat 5. Now, Erods believes that the NHC does not use the SFMR and uses flight level wind to surface reductions. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. Might they use kind of a bit of everything? I don't know how they do it. I do not know. If they thought the data was useless, I don't know why they'd be taking the data. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's a 5. I don't even know where to find the flight level winds. Oh, flight level wind is over here. There's the blue is flight level wind. So for whatever it's worth, they got a flight level wind of about, what, 154 knots or something? Close to 155 flight level wind. I don't know how that translates. Wikipedia says A reduction of 10% of the winds sampled at flight level is used to estimate the maximum sustained winds near the surface. Anyways, if that's the case, if that flight level wind was what, 153 or something? Then that would translate to about 100, with a 10% reduction, that'd be about 159 miles an hour. So if that's how they do it, but again, I'm looking over here where it says flight level wind speed close to 155 knots. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. I think that's going to be it for the stream. Hey, thanks, Allison Hargroves, for the gift memberships. I really appreciate that. So it looks like it might be a 5, but I don't know. Maybe after I get off the air, they'll say it's a 5. Maybe in the next update in 2 hours, in an hour and a half, they'll say it's a 5. But for now, I appreciate all. The WAN Shope on Twitch thinks the 5 a.m. update will have the winds at 160 or 165. Depends what they find in the northeast eye wall. So maybe they're just going to wait and use all of this data in the next update in 90 minutes. Maybe they'll have like a 920 pressure and 160 wind speed or whatever or something like that. Anyways, thanks for your guys' expertise. I am not an expert on this, but it's time. It is time. I already said my goodbyes. I already wrapped up everything. Thank the mods. Thanks so much to our moderators. But I ended up staying on longer than I thought I was so we could get that data. But it was interesting. Thanks for the discussion of how they're calculating the max sustained wind speed. Do I know when I'm next on? When I'm next on is after I've slept. Sometime during the day. I got to get some sleep. The real problem is going to be, it's supposed to make landfall at like maybe in the morning on Tuesday. So you're better off sleeping later and starting later, I think, because you don't want to have to go to sleep 5 hours before it's supposed to make landfall. It's going to be difficult either way. Anyways, the timing might be tough. Right? Might try to take a nap tomorrow or something. I don't know. It's just the timing is tough. If it's going to make landfall, you can't stay up for like 40 hours and be productive. But there's this whole period of time it's going to be approaching and then making landfall. And even after making landfall, you're going to want to see what happens after that. So I don't know how we're going to work it, but I'll try to be on as much as I can. Okay. Guys. You can go to Tropical Tidbits and you can see on Tropical Tidbits, the satellite, you can see the recon data for the airplane. So check out tropicaltidbits.com. I just want to mention that. And also, Flight Radar 24, we were able to track the flights on flightradar24.com. You can check that out. Great flight tracker. So let me get off the air. I'm getting off the air and going to try to go to sleep soon. But I thought maybe we'd catch Cat 5. Maybe we did. It's possible we did catch Cat 5 if in an hour and a half they say it's Cat 5. Okay, that is it for now. From here, I will be back with more coverage. I hope people in Jamaica stay safe. This is an incredibly dangerous situation. Ultimately, it's not really a huge difference, Cat 4 or Cat 5 at landfall. We've heard the National Hurricane Center say that. It is shaping up to be an incredibly damaging storm either way. So we will keep an eye out and keep covering this. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I hope everybody in Jamaica and other countries possibly affected are taking the whatever precautions the experts are suggesting they take. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.